The Pypes 4-inch single exhaust system with black tip and side exit for all 11 214 3.5 powered EcoBoost is perfect for the F-150 owner that's looking to get a little more sound out of their truck with a stainless steel exhaust system for an extremely reasonable price. Pypes manufactures this catback out of a 4-inch mandrel bent 409 stainless steel tubing that's definitely going to hold up to those salty winter conditions, as well as clean up some of the flow of the exhaust with those smooth mandrel bends. Also, this kit ends with a huge 5-inch black powder coated tip that is sure to complete your blackout look. Now, if that is not your thing, we do offer this same identical kit with a polished tip as well. Now, this kit also comes with the Pypes Violator Muffler, as the loudest muffler Pypes offers. However, it does still have a little baffling in there and isn't too loud compared to the factory, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it makes for a good ride in the cabin. This kit does feature the Violator Muffler, which is one of Pypes' loudest mufflers on the market. However, it does still have some baffling in there to kind of quiet it down and makes the ride a little bit more bearable. I didn't think it was too loud. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 on the Wake the Neighbor scale. This kit does come in at around the $450 mark, which makes this one of the most budget-friendly stainless steel exhausts that we have on our website, especially when compared to some dual exit systems that can cost double. Now, install difficulty on this kit can vary. Depending on your cabin bed setup, you might have to do some trimming to make this fit. We did. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Should take you 2 hours with basic hand tools, and once the trimming's out of the way, it's just a simple bolt-on. With that, let me show you how to get this installed on your truck. For this install, you are going to need a 3/8 drive impact, 3/8 drive ratchet, 15mm wrench, 10mm socket, deep 10mm socket, 17mm socket, 15mm socket, 13mm socket. Optional is a can of WD-40, a dead blow hammer, and some safety glasses and a saw. So the first step to the install is uninstalling our old school factory exhaust. We're going to use a 13mm socket to unbolt this mid-pipe from its flange. Next, I'm just going to throw a pole jack underneath our exhaust before we remove all of the exhaust hangers. Next, we're going to remove all the exhaust hangers throughout the truck. There are going to be these bolts right here. They're 10mm. It's tough for me to get the gun in there. You might need to use a wrench. I'm going to use a wrench. Also, if you're working on the ground, some cutting might be required to get this out of here. Now, with those 2 hangers out of place, you should be able to slide this back and it should drop right out. Now, if you are working on the ground, you might have to do some cutting to get this thing out. Since we're on a lift, we could slide it out in one big piece. Now, with our factory system off the truck, I just wanted to take a second to highlight how much of an upgrade this Pypes kit is. As you can see, we severely increased the diameter of the pipe here. I mean, this piping is huge. Also, we deleted that factory resonator as well as that big factory style muffler in exchange for the Pypes Violator Muffler here, one of their loudest. That, in combination with each other, is really going to increase our sound that we have out of the truck. Also, as you can see, we have a nice black tip out back. And I just wanted to take a second to highlight that we will be deleting one of these hangers on this pipe here. Also, this mid pipe is trimmed to fit, so what we're going to do is measure our stock system. We're going to transfer that measurement over to this pipe, then head over to the saw and give it a trim. And by measuring to the face of that muffler, we're accounting for our quick fit connection. Our measurement is just going to be a hair over 4 feet. Now, that will differ based on the wheelbase of your truck. And we're just going to mark this right here. And now with our mark in place, we can head over to the saw and trim this up. All right, so with our pipe trimmed to the correct size, I just put it back together one more time to give it a test fit, make sure we're in the right neighborhood. Looks good, so we're gonna start putting him on the truck. Before we do, I do need to take back one of these hangers that we will be reusing. With our hanger off the old exhaust, we're gonna remount this to the frame and we can start installing our new exhaust. While we have our hanger in hand, we're just gonna take the two 10mm bolts from our factory kit that we removed earlier to reinstall this hanger to the frame. With our hanger in place, we are going to move on to our mid pipe. Pipes gives you two 15mm bolts, nuts, and washers to install this back to the flange. Now there is a bend in this pipe. You want to make sure that that bends toward the outside of the vehicle. And as with everything, you just want to snug these up so they're resting in place. And then we'll do our final tighten at the end. Next, we're going to grab our muffler and this clamp right here. It has that shape hanger on it. That's going to mount horizontally onto our mid pipe and mount into that isolator that we mounted earlier. With our muffler and clamp all lined up in this hanger here, we are going to take a 15mm socket and just snug this clamp down a little bit. Next, we're going to grab our first half of the tailpipe section and this clamp with a 90-degree hanger on it. That goes into the back of the muffler. And again, just snug that clamp down using a 15mm socket. Next, we're going to take the clamp that looks like this in our last section of the tailpipe and get that clamped on. And lastly, we're going to grab our exhaust tip and tighten that down using a 17mm socket. Now, once you have everything seated exactly where you want it and all your clearances look good, you can run through and tighten down all those clamps using a 15mm socket. With all those clamps tightened down, you are good to go. Now, it's always a good idea to jack the truck back up at around 100 miles and make sure everything is still snug. With that, that is going to do it for my review and install of the Pypes 4-inch single exhaust system with the black tip and the single side exit, fitting all 11 to 14 3.5 EcoBoost F150s. Thank you for watching. I'm Joe, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.